So today we will be discussing about the salivary gland, and this topic is very important for your university exams as well as the competitive exams you will be writing in the future. So let's discuss this topic. Uh, so basically, what are the salivary glands? What do you understand by the term salivary glands? So salivary glands are nothing but uh, they are the exocrine glands that secrete saliva. So before jumping into what salivary glands do and their functions, let's first discuss the functions of saliva. So saliva is secreted by the salivary glands, and the quantity they secrete in total, that is about 1 liter to 1.5 liter or 1000 to 1500 ml per day. That is the quantity secreted. So let's start with the functions of salivary gland. I've made a flow chart over here so that it's easier to understand. As we are learning the functions, we can also learn the composition of saliva, because the composition of saliva, that is water and inorganic organic substances, help in these functions only. So as we can see, there is 99% of water, okay, in the saliva. So this keeps the oral cavity moist. So like that we can, connect things and learn. Then it keeps the oral cavity moist and the mucosal lining also. And lubrication is a major function of saliva. So lubrication is a it helps in the mastication of food. So lubrication of saliva helps in mastication of food. It lubricates the oral cavity. Okay, then next function is it protects. So protects how? The saliva has IgA immunoglobulin, right? So it provides local immunity. The IgA, it also has lysozyme actions. Okay, so what does lysozyme do? uh, it also helps. It helps in the antibacterial function. And what is antibacterial? It kills the bacteria. So that's how it protects. Then it cleans. So the saliva helps to keep the oral cavity clean. Okay, so that's how we learned that there is IgA and lysozyme also. There are also some components of saliva. And there are some main electrolytes also. We'll learn both, okay? We're learning together functions and composition. So there are main electrolytes that are sodium, potassium, calcium, chlorine, bicarbonate ions. So bicarbonate ions also have a function. So see, this came in the composition. So I will tell the function also of bicarbonate. So the bicarbonate ions buffer. So function is also buffer. What does it buffer? First, the bicarbonate ions, it helps in the basic condition, right? It's a basic in nature. So bicarbonate ions buffer the gastric acid to some extent and therefore reduce the heartburns. That is also function of saliva. And it also helps in clear speech. Saliva helps in the clear speech. As I'm speaking right now, so the saliva is helping. Okay. Saliva also helps in increasing the taste of food, right? It helps in the development of taste buds. And there are many more actions. Main one, see this also, bolus. It helps in the digestion process. So it has a enzyme called the salivary amylase, or it is also called as stylene. So this is also a composition of saliva. Stylene is present in saliva. This enzyme splits the starch, okay, and in turn it helps in the bolus formation that you can easily swallow or deglute. So where were we? We finished with the main electrolytes, as I told, bicarbonate ions, okay, in the composition. Now organic substances, I told, amylase, that's stylene, okay. It also has esterase, lysozyme action, I told, it has lysozyme, and it has proline also. I'll write it here, proline, proline rich proteins. What do they, what is their function in the saliva? So proline rich proteins in saliva protects the enamel of the teeth, okay. So the enamel of the teeth is protected by the proline rich protein, because we take hot and cold food, due to which the enamel can damage, but there is proline in the saliva which helps in protection, and it also provides the strength to the enamel, okay. So function, it protects the enamel, okay. Then it also helps in the temperature and pH regulation, okay. Saliva keeps the internal environment of the oral cavity like this, it regulates it. And main function also, there is healing action of saliva. How? See, in the composition, if we see, there are other organic substances like clotting factors. So in composition there are clotting factors. I think you can't see it, but I'll write it here. Clotting factors which help in the healing action of any cuts or wounds that is there in the buccal mucosa, or in the oral cavity. So saliva increases the rate of wound contraction, and saliva also increases the rate of wound healing. It helps in the formation of blood clot, okay, due to this clotting factor. And I have already discussed immunoglobulin IgA over here. They also have this is the major IgA immunoglobulin that is present in saliva. There is IgG and IgM also present. Okay, so these were the functions of saliva, and with the functions I've also discussed the composition of saliva. So there was 99% H2O, and the other 1% was made from these organic and inorganic components. Okay, so now moving on, we will discuss about the salivary glands in detail in the next video. Thank you.